Hello everyone, how you all doing today? Godrekton here. Today, bring you another video. So in this video, we're going to be taking a look at some Renekton builds that I have theory crafted and also been playing with. And yeah, before we get started, I just want to say thank you for the next milestone we hit, which was 900. So yeah, we basically hit 900 like a week ago, maybe. I'm not sure actually, but now we're at 973 subscribers, and it really means a lot to me. So thank you guys very much for that in advance. And now let's get on with the video. Sorry if I'm like terrible at this, because I normally do fuck up this quite a lot, so I'll try and be very informative about what I build and why. So anyways, let's get into the first build that you can play with Renekton. So in this guide, you're gonna see like what builds you can play with. So I've gone for Tank Renekton, Bruiser Renekton, and also full damage. So yeah, let's get started with Bruiser. So here's the full Renekton build that you see a lot of people go. I mean, I go this. Well, I used to go this all the time back when Dead Man's Play was pretty good, and also when these items are pretty strong, and then some of these like not strong. But anyways, so in this build we have Black Cleaver, obviously because it gives us 20 cooldown reduction, 50 attack damage, and 300 HP with an Armor Shred passive, which is awesome on Renekton because your W stacks it 3 times. And it's just great because you just use that on a tank and you pretty much shred most of their armor. So it's a really good mine for Renekton. And it's really cheap now as well. It got like a 400 gold reduction, I think, or 500. I can't remember how much it was now, but it really helped Renekton out a lot because getting this item just made you a beast. And now, because it's cheaper, obviously you want to be going with this if you're playing Bruiser, because of course it's cheaper and it's very nice. Renekton as it synergizes really well with you. Next we have Ravenous Hydra. Now, what I do is I normally go Tiamat, then I go armor items and stuff. But what I've been doing lately is like when I play Bruisers, I go Ravenous Hydra second because I always like having damage. And having this damage just makes you do so much in fights. You have like 250 AD like once you finish these items. Well, maybe not, but like have 230. Close to that until you're like level 18 when you get 250. But yeah, having these items are like so good because it gives you tons of damage and also lifesteal's pretty nice. I mean, I don't even like going lifesteal too much because I rely on Renekton's Q to give me a lot of HP. But I guess it differs with everyone. But yeah, this item gives you 75 attack damage, 100 base health regen, 12 lifesteal, and the passive's really good too. Plus 50% of the damage dealt. Cleave as well, really good. Crescent that allows you to and magic cancel your W and also double cast with your E, Q. It's a really great item. But I know some people don't like going the second. I'm personally one of these people, but as of late, I like going the second. But the reason why people don't like going is because it costs too much. So you just look at Tiamat quickly. That costs 1,200, and that basically gives Renekton the ability to animation cancel his W and double cast with his Q and E. Also ult as well, forgot to mention that. So yeah, it's really good just getting this, but ever since the nerfs came around with Tiamat, the damage nerfs and also the cleave and also adding the cleave back, basically I didn't really like it, so I've stopped building that like first, second, third. I normally go as a fourth item now if I'm playing a damage build, but if you want to play Bruiser, just get this second. Well, it's honestly personal preference. I just like going this on Bruiser Renekton. Okay, so next we got Dead Man's Play. Now, this item's had a lot of nerfs as of like these past few months, simply because this item's like so strong on tanks, because it gives movement speed, and movement speed on tanks is pretty insane. It stops you getting kited, and also it gives you 100 damage on hit, which is great. Also, wait, did one per 2 stacks? 50, okay, 50 AD it gives you. Even so, that's pretty strong. 500 health as well, really nice. 50 armor. Yeah, honestly, this build, it just synergizes too well with Renekton. So, of course, I'll go Dead Man's Play it. I just love it as an item. I've always preferred it over some Fire Cape as well. And Randowins, like, I know it's personal preference, but the best build, in my opinion, is this right here. If you just want to play Renekton and learn him, I'd rather go with this build than any of the rest we have in this guide. Next we have Spirit Visage. Now, if you're against an AP champion, I would go this before building Dead Man's Play. But if you're against an AD, I'd build this, then go with this. If you're against magic damage, but if you're not against magic damage, I would go Randuin's or Sunfire Cave, or Full Mallet even if you're against a Vayne, Caitlyn, stuff like that. In ADC, that's pretty fair. I'd go Full Mallet over this. If they have magic damage, I would go with this because it gives you, increased healing. It's better than Banks' Veil. 500 health, 55 magic resist, 200 base health regen, and 10% cooldown reduction. Giving you 30 at the moment, and if you go 5%, I don't know, cooldown reduction in runes, and also 5 flat and 5 scaling, 4 scaling, sorry, and I'll give you 10%, so it's pretty good. Wait, no, it's 6 flat you need to get 5. Okay, my bad. But yeah, we go in those with these items gives you 40% CDR, which is brilliant for Renekton. Now for our last item, we're going to go with Guardian's Angel, simply because it gives us 60 armor, 45 magic resist. It's great. It also got some buffs lately, so now it restores the greater of 700 health or 30% of maximum health, 30% mana. It's a great item on Renekton. It really is. I used to go to all the time back in season 5, but then I changed my player style over to a damage carry, and I don't really build as much because I just like damage. I'm that guy who just builds damage items, and it's fun. It's whatever you prefer, really. But if you want to be tanky and have like the best stats you can, I'd go with all these items. So next, for the Bruiser build, I have this. This is all in order, so I would go Black Cleaver first, obviously, because it's great on Renekton. Next, I'll go Sunfire Cape. Now, this varies, so you can go Dead Man's Fight if you want to, but I know some people like going Sunfire Cape because it does a lot of damage. Also gives you 500 HP, 50 armor, and it's the same price, okay. But yeah, the pass is really strong if you're against duelists. So if you're against a duelist champion such as Fiora, Jax, Trundle, I'd rather go Sunfire Cape because you gotta do damage to them, like it's the same trades, and it's really helpful. Next we have Titanic Hydra, so it has been nerfed recently. It did have 50 AD, and it got reduced by 15, so it's not as strong as it was, but I mean, this item's only good anyway if you have over 3000 HP. It just outperforms the normal build if you're not going through damage items. So if you go with this, you're going to do a lot of damage. And the difference between this and Ravenous is that this gives you an auto reset instead of cancels, and you can't double cast with it. So what it does is, like, if you auto then W, then press this, it'll just apply it on the next hit. But with this, you get like an extra attack in, and also it cancels a lot quicker. And it just feels a lot nicer going Ravenous, but it's obviously personal preference. If you want to be more tanky and you want to peel, I'd go with Titanic. It's just great for that. Next, we got Spirit Visage. Now, if you get magic damage, I'd go with this, and if not, just go for Mallet or something, depending on the situation. But Spirit Visage is good in like almost all cases if you get magic damage, because the healing's very nice, and this build gives you a lot of health regen, so it's great. Also, it gives you cooldown reduction as well, which is great too. Also on this build, you get 40% CDR, so you don't need to go out in runes. Hold on, let me just do this, sorry. I'm not going to edit this video either, so it's going to be a long time that we was discussing items and shit. So yeah, hopefully you can just bear with some of these invites. Anyways, our final item will go with Warmog's Armor because, it gives us 800 HP, 200% base health regen, 10% cooldown reduction, and it grants us, the insane passive Warmog's Heart. So we get it last because around about then you have like 300. You have like over 3,500 HP anyway with these items, I believe. So yeah, it's great. Also makes you a huge tank. It gives you a lot of damage when you're active, which is pretty insane. And of course we got this potion. If you're going to Bruiser, the first Bruiser build, I'd go with this because it gives you 380 or 290, something like that. Although I haven't played with it too much. I'm just theory crafting at the moment off the top of my head. And I'd say this gives you around about that. It's very nice. Gives you a lot of damage and healing, and this is good because it gives you more HP, tenacity to get to the enemies on the. It gives you tenacity so you don't get stunned like forever, so you just get out of it and you can go to the enemies and do shit, just shit all over them, and also it helps you become a mega tank because the HP gives you is great. And yeah, that's the Bruiser, second Bruiser build. Hold on, I'm just gonna get a drink. Okay. Like I said, it's gonna be a long video, so I'm just gonna take a few breaks and have a drink because I don't like talking over a while because it hurts my throat. So yeah, like I said, I'll suck at this. All right, so now this part here is just your third damage item considerations. So when I play Bruiser Renekton, I love going to third damage item. So we're gonna use this build for this example. So if you didn't want to go GA, you could go Asterix. This gives you a lot of HP. It stops bursts as well from champions like Yi, Vayne. It's great against champions like that, even Caitlyn. But you could also go Randuins, depending on those champions. But if you want a damage item, this is a great pickup in those situations. Next, you have more. Now, if you get an AP champion, you might go with this first, and then build Ravenous last or Black Cleaver, depending on what you want. But for me, I'll probably build this Hexdrinker first, then go Black Cleaver. Then I would probably upgrade this and get Ravenous last. That's how I'd build it if I do get more early. But if you want it late game for a magic resist item, you could replace it with a Spirit Visage and go Guardian's Angel, or you could do vice versa. So yeah, it's a great item as well because it gives you attack speed on a lifeline. Also, I just give it attack speed anymore. No, it doesn't. Okay, my bad. Remove that. I forgot. But yeah, either way, it gives you a lot of spell vamp, lifesteal. It's a great passive lifeline, and also magic resist is nice. The stats it gives as well is insane. On the pen, great for Renekton. For your magic resist, great again against burst champions, AP champions. 55 AD as well. That's great. Gives you around 300 AD. This build. So yeah, having around that AD just allows you to one shot. So that's why I go for a damage item because it gives you the tools to carry. It basically gives you the best stats on Renekton. So you have movement speed with Dead Man's Plate, and maybe boots as well. HP, armor. It's a really great. I don't know. I just prefer going 3 damage items than 2. It's obviously personal preference, so what you want to do with it. I just prefer going 3rd damage item because it allows me to carry those hard games, and it doesn't. You don't fall off either. You're still a threat. Now, we go 2 damage items, you do fall off eventually because the enemy just out damage you. But if you go 3 AD items, you do a lot of damage in fights, and it stops that from being a factor unless she gets a Vayne, then Vayne's going to be impossible to kill unless you can flash onto her. Or just get your teammates to burst her down, so yeah. Anyways, moving on to our 3rd damage item, we got Frozen Mallet. Now, you could build this early. You can build these items 3rd if you want to, then go armor items, but I prefer going with this because I've already got 2 damage items that give me 240 AD, so I don't really need to go a damage item then. But if you're that fed, you can do it. I mean, I do that anyway in full damage, but as a bruiser, I'll just go armor and stuff in case he's got a fed carry. But anyway, why do you go Frozen Mallet, you might ask? Well, 650 health is very nice, of course, for this item. 40 AD as well is really great. And the passive as well, so you just basically ult, then you'd E onto the enemy carriers, you'd stun, and if they try to run away, they can't because they're going to get slowed. And then you get your second dash onto them, and you just wreck everyone. And then while you're slowing them all down, your team can just catch up with you and just take them all out because they're slowed and they can't really get away. But it's a great item as well when snowballing. It's good in matchups where you're against top laners such as Rumble, Vlad. Champions are kind of immobile in a way. They have low movement speed. Against Darius, it's good too because you get that health, which is very nice. But if you get a Darius, it might be good going with this. But yeah, it's whatever really, whatever you prefer. Just another consideration you might want, depending on the matchup. Death Stance now, I'd prefer going with this in a build like that. Well, saying that, I built this yesterday with this build, and it gave me a lot of lifesteal. It made me a pretty good duelist. But considering this build gives you no lifesteal, I'd rather just, take this as a 3rd damage item and replace it on Warmugs. Gives you 75 AD, cooldown reduction, so you get 40 anyway because of the items. And because you're getting 40, you don't need to run it in runes, so, you can just go magic resist instead if you want to. So yeah, it gives you, a lot of healing as well. Gives you 33% on your AoE. 15% of the damage taken as well as that as a bleed effect, so it just makes you a monster in duels. So it's really good against Illaoi, whatever you say her name, Fiora, Jack, stuff like that. That's what I go with this item. It's very situational. I only take them against duelists or people who have a strong late game in 1v1s. So yeah, that's when I get this item. Next we have Ghostblade, my favourite item in the game. Now you can build this first if you want to, but as a Bruiser, I'll probably just go Black Cleaver because the stats are like great. You might go Tiamat then Black Cleaver, but even so, I'll probably go Black Cleaver because in high elo you want to deny your opponent from getting far. If you get Tiamat, you're just going to push your wave into the enemy tower. That's great and all because they do miss it, but of course you're then free to you're then free for the enemy jungler to come and gank you, and then you might not be able to get out, you might die eventually because of it. So getting this allows you to freeze waves and also just manipulate them, control them. It's really great. That's why I don't go Tiamat first anymore. If it had no cleave, I probably would go it, but even so, just to give a lot of damage. But it would make me go Tiamat then into Black Cleaver because it wouldn't have a cleave passive. But now that he has it back, it's like no point really going it first. Unless I'm against Trundle or someone who's winning lane who's pushing me, and that's when I get Tiamat first. But yeah, back to Ghostblade. So this item's great because it gives you 10% cooldown reduction, 60 AD. And also, if you're building a damage build, then it's someone that gets fed it. So, okay. So if you're playing Renekton and then you're already fed, you have like 2 damage items, then you want to go Ghostblade or Cleaver, depending on whether you started. You can just go Tanky from there and do a lot of damage. I do this sometimes. Like in that game where I got a Pentakill over Renekton, I did go armor items then after that because I have my 3 core items, which give me enough. They give me the tools to carry. Ghostblade's just really good because you use attack speed, which is good for combos. 20% movement speed, good for catch up to enemies, and arm pen as well. It's insane. Allows you to one-shot enemies, and yeah, that's why it's an overall great item. Hold on, need another drink. So if I'm speaking too fast as well, I just want to try and hurry up. So 17 minutes already. Oh god, we're only on like the 3rd build as well. Not build, but item set. Okay, lastly we have Bork. Now Bork's great because your passive affects all 3 hits of your Empowered W. So you'll be doing 80% of the target's current HP, and it uses that as bonus damage. So against tanks, it's just a monster. It makes you a monster and an awesome duelist. And if you go pair it with this, it just makes you unkillable and PD as well. You know what? I might try that build. It sounds pretty legit. But yeah, the only downside to this item is like it costs quite a bit of gold for what it does, like 25 AD. Yeah, I mean, as Renekton, you want to have a lot of damage because your W's gives you the W scans 220%, and with that, you want to build like heavy damage items to like increase the damage on your W. But this is great against tanks anyway. It's just a situational item at the end of the day. You don't really want to be going this unless you're against a mega tank. That's why I build it. Rarely. I say rarely because there's no room for this in my build. I'd just rather go Fan Dancer or just full on pen build instead for burst. But it's still an item which is great. I'd rather go take this and put it in this build instead. Just to move Subfire Cape. So you could go Black Cleaver, you could go Titanic, then Bork. I see a few people do that, like H2K Fury, and it's a great build. It gives you the tools to carry yet again. But yeah, I find the item weak, and it also costs a lot of gold as well. That's why I don't go it often, but it's still a great item anyway. Okay, now onto our tank build. The build that everyone loves, full tank. It's this build basically. So here we have Sunfire Cape, Spirit Visage, Randuin, Zero, and Warmogs. So first of all, you get this for your damage item. Then you go Spirit Visage because the cooldown reduction's great. The health it gives you, the healing as well is pretty nice. Then you get Randuin's Omen. It's helps you peel and soak up all the damage. It's a great item, and also attacks your slowers. So if you're in a team fight and the ADC focuses you, they're just going to have the attack speed slowed, and then your ADC will probably outdraw them if it's even. So yeah, it's a great item as well. Zero Portal. Oh yeah, you can also alternate, so you could go this first instead of Sunfire if you're against the crit champions such as Yasuo, Trendemir. Some of them a lot of damage. Zero Portal. This gives you a mixture of armor, magic resist 55 each, 125 base health regen, and it gives you you can just put this down in another lane in the mid game. That'll just split push for you. Then you just group bot lane or something while top's pushing and take a tower. And lastly, we have Warmogs, but you can also go Guardian's Angel if you want to, just to have tons of armor and magic resist. But this gives you a lot of health, and plus this with your ultimate, which gives you 750. It just makes you a monster. You just soak up tons of damage. But the thing with this is you do get kited quite a bit, and that's why I don't really like it. But of course, you do have the passive for this, which does help a little bit. But yeah, it's not the greatest. And then finally, you get this because you want to be a mega tank, and this gives you the stats. Okay, so boots for Bruiser and tank. So here we have Ionian boots, of course. I prefer going with this now, ever since the Swiveless boots nerfs. I used to go these every game, but now it just seem useless in my opinion. I did make a Reddit post on this, and a lot of people agreed and disagreed. Obviously, they're more situational now, as it should be. They should be picked every game, so I do agree with that. But being called Swimless boots and only granting 10 extra movement speed is pretty bad, in my opinion. You should have just increased the gold value instead of reducing the movement speed. Because now they removed boot enchantments and nerfed this, it's kind of like not great on Renekton. So yeah, I don't really like going these anymore. And it's only good in a few matchups. So you're against Ashe, stuff like that. It's pretty nice, and it's okay. So it's pretty cheap as well. I can see it being pretty good, but I won't go these unless you're against, those champions with a lot of slows. Next on Mercury Treads. Well, this item's pretty bad now as well. In my opinion, boots need a rework. Every single boot in the game, they're all pretty bad. Like, they just are. I don't know, I just don't like boots anyway. But the only ones that go are Ionian boots, pretty much. And Ninja Tabi. These are the strongest items in the game at the moment. The boots anyway. Like, they increased the armor on this by 5, I think, and also I'm pretty sure they increased the passive as well by 2%. I'm not sure on that. I'm not 100% on that. But yeah, it's a really strong item at the moment, especially against all these Triforce users such as Irelia, Jax, champions like that. These boots are great for getting. But back to Mercury Treads. Yeah, it's good for tenacity. If you're against people with a lot of a lot of stuns and stuff, it'll help you in team fights. If you pair this up with this as well, Swiftness, it's really great. Also, back to this a second. So you have to take Grasp with this build. There's no point going further anyway because you've got to do 0 damage. You just take Grasp, it'll do quite a lot of damage because you're building a lot of HP and you get damage on Grasp if you build more HP. So it's a pretty valid reason why you go over it in this build. But I highly recommend you don't go this because it's just bad. It's only good in competitive play. That's the only time you probably see this build, being useful. So because in LCS, players can trust each other to peel and do, top laners can trust their ADCs to do damage and stuff, so they can then peel for their ADCs in team fights, and that's why this build's great because it allows you to do that. But in solo queue, dynamic queue, whatever you want to call it, it's not great. It's only good in competitive play, so that's why you won't be seeing as much in a lot of Renekton builds. And then we have Ionian boots. These are great because you can run Ghost with Renekton. It's a really great summoner spell. So if you say I this spell, for example, you might want to run Ghost. Now this allows you to not get kited, and because you have these boots, they basically reduce the cooldown spells by 10%, and you just have it up more frequently, and it's great. You can also go 18 and 12 and just take this, so it reduces by 15% as well, so 25. It's insane. Like, it goes on a 135-second cooldown, I think, so just over 2 minutes. So you have it pretty much every team fight and every skirmish pretty much. So it's a great pickup, and the 900 gold as well. 900 gold for this, and 10% cooldown reduction gives you 2. Like, it's insane. You don't even need to run runes in cooldown reduction. So yeah, in a lot of games I'll just build cooldown reduction boots because they're great. And then in the late game I might just, switch them up with Mercury Treads or Ninja Taboy depending on the situation. Or if I'm against a duelist I might go with these instead and then go on from there. Okay, so we're at 25 minutes at the moment. Okay, I mean this is okay. So now starting my first full damage build right here. We have Thunderlords, the full arm pen build. So of course you get this and pair it up with Thunderlords. These are the masters you want to be running. 18, 12. You can switch up if you want to. You can go Oppressor in some matchups and Bounty Hunter. I should be going this, so I'll keep it on that. I take Teleport now as well because the meta just I can't play Ignite Renekton anymore. I just get flamed out a bunch, and I can't snowball as well as I used to. So I take TP now to pressure the map, and I carry a lot of games. I haven't lost the game with it yet ever since I've changed over. But of course, you don't need to switch over. Ignite's still pretty good if you want to solo carry, if you can, of course. That's why it's really good on low elo, because if you just get a few kills with Ignite, you'll snowball like hell. TP is like hit or miss. You can teleport bot lane, and then your bot lane might not follow up, or they might die in the process, and then you're like kind of fucked. So yeah, it's not the best, of course. Both have their pros and cons, but in low elo, just go Ignite, and up until high plate, you might want to switch to TP, which you can trust your teammates then. But yeah, that's just my opinions on those. Also, Ghost as well. It's the same as Ignite. I'd take it if you could snowball or if you could hold on to the mid game. Like, Ghost spikes up and, well, it spikes drastically when you hit the mid game because, you have a lot of movement speed. Because, some of the spell now increases over each level up to 45%. So it's great for Renekton right now. Hold on, whoops. But yeah, that's when you want to go Ghost. But I wouldn't take Ghost with this build. This build right here, you take Ignite or TP. So we have Ghostblade, of course. Now, Ghostblade's a good first item because of the stats it provides. And it's pretty cheap as well, in a way. Okay, maybe not, but it gives you a huge power spell. I'd say it's like huge and then go on Black Cleaver first. Excuse me. I just ate like half an hour ago. So yeah, Ghostblade's a really good item. 10% cooldown reduction, 60 AD. It makes you a monster. The stats it provides as well is insane. That's what I'd go with as first. It helps you in a lot of trades. But okay, so here's the thing as well. You might want to go Black Cleaver first in some matchups like Pantheon, Irelia, Jax. I don't know about Jax actually. You could go Ghostblade and still win that. Illaoi as well. Illaoi. Yeah, because they do a lot of damage, and going Black Cleaver gives you HP, Armor Shred, cooldown reduction as well, so your spells a bit more frequently. So yeah, Black Cleaver's good first if you're against those type of champions, but if you're against Squishy, I'll just go Ghostblade, or if you're snowballing before that. And of course, once you get second item, you might want to get Black Cleaver, of course, or Dustblade, depending on if your enemies are squishy. But yeah, why do I go Dustblade, you might also ask? Well, with Thunderlords, this gives you around, okay, so 20, 30, in runes you might go you might go 10 or something like that. I'll take 12 actually. So 45 you might have around, wait, that's not right. 50, there you go, around about 50. Because precision mastery as well gives you armor pen per level. And you're getting free flat as well from the start of the game. But yeah, 75 AD, 5 movement speed, 10% armor penetration. Also a passive that applies Nightfall, which kills enemies. It's basically good if you like enemies on low HP, and if they flash away, then they're gonna die anyway because your passive's gonna kill them. I wouldn't say the passive's great. It's just more of a stat. It just gives you stats more than anything. That's why I only get it. It's also it's got a decent price, pretty cheap to pick up. And the build path's pretty nice as well. Dirk and BF sword, 40 AD, along with 20 AD and armor pen. You know, I like the build path with this. Gives you a pretty nice spike. But yeah, this player is really good with this build. Fun loads. You want as much burst as possible, and of course, these are the items that are going to give you this. Okay, now your third item or fourth. Now back to this. So you could go Tiamat then Ghostblade, depending on your preference. If you can animation cancel. Because I know a lot of people are like, oh, but because you're not going Tiamat, you're not going to be able to animation cancel. But you actually can with your W. You can use your ultimate. You can use your Q, even though it's not as great. You can also use your E, which is decent for an empowered W. But yeah, I'd rather just use W than Alt because it's instant and it's, you know, very nice. You can also W then Alt E. That cancels the Alt animation as well. With the E, well, you Alt. Basically, when you're ulting, you do wall Eing as well. So you do cancel it and apply it both, you know, at the same time. So you can do that for as your maximum amount of damage. But if it's a team fight, I'll just W E. That's if I'm not. That's if I haven't got my ult up. Then I'll just Panther combo and get out of there with my Ghostblade active. I'll probably still have that once I disengaging. But yeah, you don't need Tiamat up until 4 fighter if you want to. You can also go Ramnus if you want to as well, because you might lack AD or love still, so you can just go this instead, depending on a few matchups. But for me, I'll just upgrade it last, get a Tiamat around the 4th part or 5th. Personal preference, really. Now, for your 4th or 5th item, of course, you might go on Mercury or Scimitar if you get a lot of CC. Now in low elo or high elo, you might play against champions such as Ash. Ash is pretty popular right now. Let's see, Maokai. Like any tank with a lot of CC, you might be playing against those. Mercurial's a great pickup because you get out there CC, gives you 65 AD as well. They get 10 AD reduction, but that's not a problem really. But the big problem here is the Quicksilver stash. Now that got a huge nerf with removal of removing debuffs. So against Trundle, Fiora, stuff like that, it's a lot more difficult. But in those matchups, if you build damage, you do beat them anyway. It's just like if you get Trundle, you have to like base ult then get out of there because it's impossible to fight him without Ignite or being full build. It's just impossible. But even full build, you need a last whisper. So yeah, it's just too OP at the moment. I wouldn't even bother trading with Trundle after level 6 unless he's got no ultimate. So yeah. Anyhow, we then have Morb as well. If you get it's vice versa, really. Like it's whatever you want to go. So this is good against burst mages. This is against a lot of CC. Of course, we've already discussed this. Why it's a good item, and yeah, just get it, depending on your preference. Then we get Elixir of Wrath. Next is my new build. I've been going on my Smurf account now. This build's so fun because it gives you attack speed, which I really like because it allows me to do the Panther combo really quickly and smoothly. And also, it's really good in fights as well when taken further. Racks up a lot of damage and, stack it pretty quickly. So, we start with Ghostblade. Of course, we'll discuss this and why we start first. We then go Trinity Force. Hold on. I just thought. That's what I'm missing. Ghostblade. Hey, there we go. Okay, so Ghostblade, we then have Triforce now. Triforce did get a change. It got a lower cost reduction. Yeah, like a small cost reduction there. It got 20% CDR, so it's a lot nicer. It's basically benefits a lot of AD and attack speed. AD casters and attack speed attack speed fighters. But yeah, it's a good item now. Well, a lot of people think it's good. I don't really think it's the greatest because the crit removal crit was really great. But of course, that's why I got Fan Dance in this build for an alternative. But if you get a tank, I'd rather go Black Cleaver. I'd go Triforce against squishes because Spellblade is pretty nice. It allows you to do a lot of damage. Yeah, it's good for snowballing. But if you're not snowballing, go Black Cleaver because it offers better stats. They help in the long run as well. So it's up to you what you want to build. It could be a last, depending on the game. Then go Ghostblade. So it's looking similar to the first build right now. But with this build, you take Fervor instead. Fervor of Battle. And you go... I'll go with these masteries. Hold on. So I'll go with this instead for this build. Because it gives you dangerous game. I love that. I love that summoner. Not summoner. Mastery. Merciless as well. Gives you increased damage. Assassin. Good for split pushing. This build's great at split pushing as well. And of course, Savagery as well helps with last hitting. But you could also go that with the first build, depending on your preference. Actually, you'll have that anyway, never mind. Because you're going for the Lords. Go on. I'm bad with this. But yeah, you take Fervor because you build an attack speed. Fervor gives you 140 AD, is it? A max rank? I'm not sure, to be honest. I'm thinking off the top of my head. 114, I think. Oh no, I'll start guessing. But no, wait, what is it? It's 112. That's it, 112. There we go. Because your W does on your third W, Empowered W does 336 extra damage at level 18. So yeah, it gives you 112 AD, and having that with attack speed's great. But yeah, next I have Phantom Dancer. It's great for dueling and split pushing. It gives us 45% attack speed. It's very cheap as well. It's very broken. In my opinion, Riot should increase the price of this item because it's just unbalanced. Like, just look at people like Yasuo. Not already, yeah, but champions that build attack speed, like Yi and stuff, Graves. It's just insane, the item itself. Like, the passive as well. You deal 12% less damage. That's just stupid. Stupid item. Don't know what Riot were thinking. Crit's nice as well. 30% crit chance. 5% moon speed as well. Having moon speed on Renekton is great because it allows you to be more mobile and allows you to get to the enemy carries. So that's another factor of why it's so great. Attack speed as well helps you combat pretty quickly. And the passive as well helps you not getting creep blocked. I hate getting creep blocked. Like in the past few days I played, I'm in creep blocked like 4 times and died because of it. I mean, I've died more than this, but this is just like pointing it out that it's still in the game and it's still annoying. But yeah, that's why I got Phantom Dancer. Next we have Ravenous Hydra. For your last item, you could go. This is it. Alright, so yeah, you can go Ravenous Hydra. Of course, animation cancelling gives you a lot of damage as well. You could also go more as well if you want Arm Pen, but that's basically, same as last game. Or if you're against tanks, not last game, last build. You could be against tanks, so you might go Bork, who built like stack HP. It's great for them because you do more damage for the current health you have. It just transfers that. It transfers 6%, not 8%. No, it's 6%. It's just that it applies that 3 times, not just 8%. Although it works differently to that. But yeah, it's good against them HP stacking tanks. Bork. That's why you might not want to go around this Hydra. Could go Bloodthirster as well if you really want to. That's a decent item for Renekton. A lot of people don't like it because the price, and it's just like you might go Death Stance instead because it gives you cooldown reduction. But if you want a lot of healing and you want to be a good duelist, Bloodthirsters are just outperform to everything. And lastly, you have Triforce. Now, at this point, you might sell boots and get this instead. Now, that's a pretty good idea. I like going Triforce last on Renekton. It gives you a lot of damage, and with this build, I think you can get around 5... No, what did I get now? I had over 650 AD, I think. No, it's a bit less than that. It's like around 600 AD I had. That was with 2 Infernal Drakes and Barrow and Red Potion. It's pretty retarded dragons in general. I don't know why they were, became a thing, but it makes the game more fun, having more damage. He was with an Elder Dragon as well. It's either the second dragon or third. I think it was the second dragon. I think if I had the third, I'd get around 700. I'm not sure. I need to calculate all this. I might do it. Right now you might see some stats of this build with dragons. But yeah, I'll put that in later, I guess. Next we have the third damage build. If you're taking Ghost on Renekton now, You might have been seeing me and Romanian take Ghost quite a lot. Like he did start this trend with Ghost, and it does work really well with Renekton because the buff it received makes it a great summoner spell. Also, with the removal of distortion, it doesn't really hurt it too much because the cooldown reduction of Ghost got nerfed as well, or reduced. I should say, not nerfed. It got reduced to 135 with Ionian boots and the Insight Mastery. That's why it's so great. And also 45% attack speed, and not attack speed, movement speed in the late game's insane as well. Very stupid, I should say. So yeah, pretty much the same as the last few builds. Then we have Black the Ruin King. I love going this item, but you also might go Fan Dancer. But I like going But because it gives me AD, lifesteal, and also the attack speed is pretty nice too. Gives around about the same. But of course, this is pretty cheap. It's a lot cheaper, in fact. But yeah, I just like going this third. Personal preference, really. And also, because this meta had... And of course, these few patches had like a lot of tanks in them. Bulk was a good item choice. So now it might actually be good going Fan Dancer, but of course, it depends on the situation, really. It depends what you want to build. Now, for our fifth item, we could go Frozen Mallet or more, depending on the game. Frozen Mallet's good because people can't even escape. Like, it's pretty dirty. You'll just pop your Ghost and Ghostblade, and also your ult as well. You look like a fucking freak just running about with, like, you know, you'll just look like a giant that's on cocaine or something. You're like so quick. And you know, everyone's afraid of you. Just like, you'll run off. They're like, oh shit, run. And yeah, it's just insane having Ghost with this build. And you might go more, of course, if you're against magic damage, and you might change that to you know, you might go Mercury instead. If hold on, I'm just sending a message to my friend. Yeah, you got Mercury against a lot of CC as well. And yeah, that's that build. Ghost is great summoner spell as well. I highly recommend you to also check out Romanian's guide. There we go. That's the name I wanted. In the description below. That's you know, discusses why Ghost is a good spell and also how to play with it. So yeah, shout out to Romanian. And now the final build. Yes, we did it, lads. We got to the final build in 42 minutes. So yeah, this is the Titanic. We've got to build Titanic. This is how I'm trying to go. So first off, I would go Rush Titanic, of course. It's surprisingly a great item first. I was surprised, actually. Like, this is what H2K Fury told me, so shout out to him as well. He used to build this first time when he had 50 AD. I mean, he still does it now to an extent, but he's also started playing full AD. But yeah, he used to go Titanic Hydra, and when I did it, it gave me a lot of damage as well. So yeah, I could see the potential going it first time, and it's great for this build. But I guess that's in a few matchups you want to go with this. But you might also go Black Cleaver as well because, you know, the stats are simply too good to pass upon. Or Ghostblade you could go as well, depending on what you want to build. But yeah, you just got these two core items. Then you go Blade the Ruin King, gives you lifesteal, makes you a great duelist. Helps you, you know, split push, you know, like a monster. You then might go Death Stance as well for a lot of, you know, lifesteal. Not lifesteal, a lot of healing. A lot of damage as well it gives you. This build's not as great as it used to be honest. Like, I used to build this quite a lot. I didn't go any armor items other than GA, so you might go GA last in this build if you want to. But yeah, the final item in this build might even be Frozen Mallet because the stats are great. It synergizes really well with Titanic and your ultimate as well. And Black Cleaver, obviously. Gives you a lot of HP and also gives you more damage on your Titanic. You could go Fan Dancer as well, be you know, a monster, take like 0 damage from everyone. Split push like a monster as well. Gives you crit chances as well. Really odd combination of items, but you know, they do work in the end. This is you could go this instead of Frozen Mallet or Sterix. You go Sterix if you're against Burst, AD Burst, and you go more as well if you're against a lot of burst magic damage. And yeah, now for your boots, the full damage from Renekton, you go these three. Now you don't go Mercurial because not Mercurial, Mercury Treads because what the point? Like with Renekton, nevertheless, you'll get stunned and die. You have to use your brain. Like you can't just go in and then thinking you're gonna live. If you get stunned once, you're pretty much dead. That's why you got Merc run instead. So yeah, Mercury Treads are like pretty useless because either way you're gonna die if you get stunned by someone. So with this boots, they're still decent. They give you the 900 gold. They're cheaper than everything else. Gives you 10 movement speed as well. Helps against slows. So it's good. It's situational now. I used to rush this every game because it gave me a lot of movement speed, and also with boot enchantments, it was great too. Next up, Ionian boots. This is my number one choice right here. I've been going these pretty much every game, unless I'm against duelists. 10% cooldown reduction, 45 movement speed, reduces cooldowns as well by 10%. Really great at the moment. That'll probably get a nerf soon. We might see it. Well, it depends really. I mean, we see everyone build these 3 items currently. These 3. But yeah, these are just too good to pass upon. Gives you 10% cooldown reduction as well. Very great. You have to go these with this build as well. You have to, just because they reduce the cooldown and ghost and makes you fast as fuck. And it's up every fight as well, so you have to go these with this build. And finally, we have Ninja Tabo. I would go this pretty much every build if you get a duelist, other than this. These right here are great for this build because you're already taking like 12% less damage from champions, and going with this gives you 24% less damage from taking them from any champions. Hold on, let me get a drink. Whew. Haven't done a video like this before, so yeah. It's actually an achievement for me. Yeah, this build is really great because you're bushing and no one can 1v1 you. And yeah, that's about it with builds. Hold on, I'm gonna do a jungle build quickly. So jungle Renekton. I'll just call it jungle 1. Actually, there we go. Just gonna do a quick transition over to when I've done finish this. So yeah, I'll be back in a second. Alright, we are back. Okay, so I've just done some jungle builds now. I've ran these before, so I haven't tested them fully, but these do work. Now, our first jungle build is full damage. So right here's you start warrior. Of course, it's really cheaper, and then all these items. So it's a great rush. Gives you 60 AD, 10% cooldown reduction. And now you might notice something. In each one of these, we all have the same jungle item, which is Stalker's Blade. And you go this because Renekton won't be able to get to anyone. You'll just get kited. So having this allows you to slow them and do tree damage. So you slow them, you'll just jump onto them, and you'll kill them. That's why you go Stalker. You don't go anything like. I mean, you can do. You can go what's the other one called? Skirmisher's Saber, but it's not. It's not the greatest on this build. Depends really. You might want to go like on another damage build, but. If you want the best jungle build, this is like the best jungle build right here for full damage, in my opinion. Obviously, it differs, but I've had a lot of success with this. So you go Ghostblade second, stats gives us insane. Ravenous Hydra third, lifesteal, life clear. You might go Black Cleaver instead if you want to. Vice versa, up until you last time. Might want to go Mercurial now. We've the only problem with jungle Renekton is that you're really weak. So you have to go Merc all the way because you'll just get stunned and die. Now the difference is with the other builds is that these builds are give you some health stats. Well, no, it gives you more mobility than this build right here. I don't know. I always feel really weak in the jungle. I always do. That's why I just go Mercurial last. I don't know. I need to play it more this build. But yeah, I'm never fed enough. The problem with Renekton jungle is you don't snowball as hard as you do in lane. You need to just roam hard with Renekton and try and get kills. But yeah, damage is not great in jungle. It's just not, in my opinion. Now, this is my favourite jungle Renekton build right here. It works so well. I do it in ranked all the time now whenever I get jungle. So first we'll go warrior. Of course, I've already said, really cheap, very nice. You might go Cinder Hulk as well if you're behind. That's also great as well, but it doesn't delay your damage. We then go Black Cleaver. Of course. Stats provides is really great. Makes you really healthy as well. Then we go down to play for more mobility. Like Renekton really lacks mobility in the jungle, so going this helps you get around places. Then we have Titanic. Now Titanic is like our best damage item in this build. Like, it gives us tons of damage, just on HP. It's a great item for this build. There's no point going around this. You want health with this. Because Renekton jungle really lacks HP. That's why I go Strength of Ages on him. Like, you don't need Fervor or anything like that if you go on Titanic, because the more HP you get, like the more damage your Titanic will do. So yeah, I got Strength of Ages just to make me a bit more tanky. Then I go Guardian's Angel last for the armor and magic resist. And yeah, it's a great build. This I recommend it if you're playing Renekton jungle. Go with this right here. Now this is my troll build right here. I haven't really played this much, but it's pretty funny. Blood Razor. 50% attack speed. You do 4% target's maximum health. I mean, it's not the best on Renekton, of course, but it's pretty fun to play now and then. Then a Black Cleaver, Fan Dancer, makes you a great duelist. Like, you've already got like 50% attack speed from this. Then you get 45, so you get 95 right here. Then you get Bork for lifesteal. Yeah, it's pretty AIDS, this build, just looking at it. So yeah, you get Bork then, and then you get more. So it's great against duelists, this build right here. And yeah. And then finally we have the boots for Renekton. Now, you might notice something different here, as well as I do. I have Moby boots now. I go on Moby boots, this build, specifically. There we go. It's really cheap, gives us 115 moon speed, plus 25 as well, base. Yeah, it helps Renekton roam about. It's very, it's great for that. Now, I'll show you right now, that new guy. That's my Smurf account. Oops. I think I've lost like the last few games. Oh god, I have. No, don't look. Yeah, it's pretty great. Allows you to roam places and stuff. Actually, I haven't built it much. I mean, I haven't played much to be honest, but it's really nice. I mean, just if you pair it up with Demon's Plays, it gives you so much mobility. That's why I build it. Helps you roam about. Because if you don't build any moon speed over Renekton jungle, you're pretty much useless and you won't be able to gank, so you need moon speed. But you go Stalkers as well to slow the enemies so you can get to them. And yeah, that covers Renekton builds. Okay, so we've been doing this video for like nearly an hour now, 56 minutes. Like, Jesus, this is probably like the longest video I've done. Especially with me commentating like through all of it. So yeah, hopefully you like this video. Make sure you leave a like, comment, and subscribe. If you want to see a guide on Renekton jungle or stuff like that, of course, leave it in the comments below. Also, before I leave quickly, let's just check runes. I run this page, pretty much most matchups, as well as this page. Okay, actually, this is my main page right here. This one. This is for full damage right here, so I take this in every game I play full damage. I take this for Renekton jungle. And I take this against duelists such as Jax. I use this against them because they do a lot of damage early. And I like having this damage so I can out-trade them and win fights. Because if I take Arm Pen, it's not like going to give me a lot of AD. And yeah, I want to win early before they reach their, their power spikes. Yeah, that just covers it. So thank you all for watching. Make sure you leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next video. Peace.